You ever feel like no matter what you do, you're just not enough? Like there's this invisible weight following you around, whispering that you're a burden, that you should have done more, been better, stayed quieter, smiled more? That's not just sadness, that's shame. And it's one of the deepest wounds left behind by a narcissist, especially if you're an empath. Because when a narcissist plays mind games with you, they're not just messing with your head. They're digging their claws into places where shame already lives. Places that, for a lot of us, started in childhood. Welcome back to another video. I'm Dylan, and if you've ever felt unworthy, invisible, or like you're not allowed to take up space, I made this for you. Let's talk about shame. Let's talk about where it comes from, how narcissists weaponize it, and most importantly, how to heal from it so it stops running your life. Because the shame you carry was never actually yours. I used to think something was wrong with me. Not because anyone said it directly, but because of how I was treated. Growing up, I felt like I had to earn everything. Attention, love, affection. I had to be the good kid, the helpful one, the one who didn't cause problems. And somewhere along the way, I learned a dangerous message. If I mess up, they might stop loving me. And so I got really good at hiding my feelings, at people pleasing, at blaming myself when things went wrong, even if they weren't my fault. That wasn't confidence. That wasn't strength. That was shame. Deep, internalized shame. And when I got into a relationship with a narcissist, they didn't create that shame. They amplified it. See, narcissists carry a lot of shame themselves, but they don't know how to sit with it. So, they do the opposite of what empaths do. They project their shame onto other people instead of looking in the mirror. They blame, they attack, they criticize, because if you're the problem, then they don't have to be. And if you already have shame wounds, if you already feel not enough, they'll sense that and they'll use it. They'll twist your words, mock your emotions, act like your needs are too much. Until one day, you're apologizing for things you didn't even do and questioning things you used to feel certain about. Because shame doesn't scream, it whispers. It says, you're too sensitive. You're too needy. You're too broken. You're lucky they even stayed. That voice, that's not your truth. That's your shame. And most of the time, it's not even your shame. Let's pause for a second and clear some things up. Shame and guilt are not the same. Guilt says, I did something bad. Shame says, I am bad. Guilt can be healthy. It's a signal that you want to do better. Shame is toxic. It's a lie that says you are the problem. And narcissistic abuse thrives on shame. Because when you feel ashamed, you shrink. You don't speak up. You don't ask for better. You accept the bare minimum. And then feel bad for wanting more. It's psychological warfare dressed up as love. Yeah, that part, that's not just heartbreak. That's emotional manipulation. But here's what shame doesn't want you to know. It loses its power the moment you start naming it. Because shame thrives in silence. It feeds on secrecy. And it dies in the light. So, if any part of this is resonating with you, if you're nodding your head or feeling your chest tighten a little, just know you're not broken, you're not crazy, and you're definitely not alone. Let's talk about how shame shows up, especially after a narcissist. You apologize constantly, even when you didn't do anything wrong. You feel guilty resting or relaxing because there's always more you should be doing. You over-explain yourself because you don't feel like people will believe you. You sabotage good relationships because deep down, you don't think you deserve them. You replay conversations in your head, wondering if you were too much. You stay quiet just to keep the peace, even if it hurts you. Sound familiar? That's shame. And if it's been living inside you for a long time, it might feel like it's just part of your personality. But it's not. It's a wound, and wounds can heal. So, here's how we start healing shame. Step 1, awareness. Start noticing it. When you feel like you're not enough, ask, where did this come from? Whose voice is this? Because half the time, it's not even your voice. It's theirs. Your parents, your ex, your teachers, your abuser. Once you can separate their voice from your truth, you get to choose what story you believe. Step 2, reparenting yourself. That younger version of you, the one who felt unworthy, unloved, or invisible, still lives inside of you. They don't need to be fixed. They need to be seen. Talk to them. Literally. I know you were scared. I know you thought it was your fault. But I'm here now, and you're safe with me. That might sound weird at first, but I promise you, it's life-changing. Because healing shame doesn't happen through logic. It happens through love. Step 3, boundaries with others and your inner critic. Start catching those shame thoughts. When you hear, you're lazy, you're annoying, or you don't matter, pause and talk back. Say, that's not true. I'm doing the best I can. I do matter. It might feel awkward at first, but every time you do it, you're building new emotional muscle. You're setting a boundary with your old programming. And boundaries are not walls, they're doors. Doors that protect your peace and let the right people in. Step 4, speak your truth. Shame loses its grip when you stop hiding. That doesn't mean blasting your story to everyone. It just means letting yourself be real. Tell a friend what you're going through. Write it in a journal. Say the thing out loud that you've been afraid to name. Because the more you express, the less power shame has. Here's a hard truth that also sets you free. They made you feel ashamed because that's what kept you small. Not because you were broken, not because you were bad, but because they benefited from your silence. And now that you see it, you don't have to stay quiet anymore. You didn't choose shame. You can choose to stop carrying it. Because here's the truth. You were always enough. They just needed you to believe you weren't, so you'd keep proving yourself, chasing them, pleasing them, ignoring yourself. But not anymore. You don't need to earn love. You don't need to shrink to fit into spaces that never saw your worth. You don't need to apologize for existing. You are worthy. You are whole. And you are not the things they made you feel. Let's wrap this up with something simple. If you've ever felt like you weren't good enough, I want you to leave a comment below that says, I am enough. Not because it fixes everything, but because it's the first step in writing a new story. You don't heal shame by being harder on yourself. You heal it by loving yourself through the parts that were hardest to carry. And that healing, it starts right here. If this video helped you see your shame in a new light, hit like and share it with someone else who might need it too. And don't forget to subscribe, because we're healing loud, not quiet. See you next time.